Bangor, Maine, home to Stephen King, Paul Bunyan, great breweries, and enough to do to fill a weekend. Join us as we explore the Queen City of the East and everything it has to offer, including museums, where to eat, parks, and other fun things to check out. This is Brew England, a channel dedicated to all things New England culture, adventures, and beer. Bangor, Maine is located in Penobscot County, oddly enough, kind of in the central part of the state. Coming from southern Maine, we tend to think of Bangor as being so far north it might as well be Canada. But you're still a good 2-hour drive from the border, believe it or not. The city has 31,000 residents according to the 2020 census, making it a pretty small city overall. However, Penobscot County has 150,000, giving Bangor more amenities than you might expect, including a small airport with flights to New York City, DC, Chicago, and half of Florida, as well as one of the largest concert venues in Maine that regularly attracts national tours. Also, probably helps that Maine's largest university and only Division I school, University of Maine, is next door in nearby Orono, and contributes to the city's vibrancy and quirky bohemian culture. Go Black Bears! Originally, we had plans to go camping in Baxter State Park over the Labor Day weekend. However, weather forecasts of heavy rains made us rethink our plans, and we booked a weekend getaway in Bangor instead. Look, we like camping, just not enough to set up camp in the rain, cook in the rain, hike in the rain, and clean up camp in the rain. We drove up from southern Maine, stopping by Tattooed Dad Brewing on the way up. Great cozy spot. Even if you don't particularly like beer, they also have an awesome tea program. Our first stop in Bangor was the Bangor Historical Society at the grandiose Hill House. While the museum is free, a donation is highly recommended. The museum houses a multitude of artifacts and showcases the history of Bangor from the early days and becoming the world's largest lumber port to prominent families, transportation, and multiple great fires that razed the city to the ground throughout the late 1800s. Overall, a great way to spend an hour or so and learn more about the history of Bangor itself. After the History Museum and checking in at our hotel, we headed off to downtown Bangor for dinner. The heart of downtown Bangor is West Market Square, which features several restaurants and bars with al fresco dining right in the square, and a good 24 restaurants, breweries, and coffee shops within just a few blocks. It's where the main Discovery Museum is, the cross street umbrellas, and a good selection of small shops including a comic book shop, antique store, a music store, toy store, small grocery store, clothing boutiques, record store, bookstores, and maybe the most famous, the Rock and Art Shop, which is great if you're in the market for quirky gifts. There's also some trails along the Cascade Stream, including the very scenic Norumbega Parkway. Also, don't forget to be on the lookout for Paul Bunyan. He's everywhere, and even a little bit of Stephen King. We're actually surprised that there wasn't more Stephen King stuff to check out, or even the type of tacky tourist trappy stuff you'd find in something like Salem, Massachusetts. Do you think that's a missed opportunity? Let us know below. For dinner, we went to Lazy Hound right in West Market Square, which is a new American restaurant featuring a new take on the classic hits. One of their specialties were their naan pizzas, which come in a variety of flavors. We got the Kicking Chicken Naan as an appetizer, which featured grilled chicken, jalapenos, red pepper, and drizzled with chipotle ranch. Not only was it delicious, we probably could have made a meal out of it alone. We also got their spicy chipotle shrimp wrap, which was tasty, and an order of chicken fingers with fries. They also had a large selection of sandwiches, wraps, and smash burgers on their menu. After dinner, we were ready to check out some bars. While Bangor might be a small city, there's some nightlife, largely in the form of downtown bars ranging from dives and neighborhood pubs to breweries and even a few cocktail bars. For entertainment, some of the bars have live music, plus you have live performances by the Penobscot Theater Company and the Bangor Symphony Orchestra. We went to Nocturnal Draft House, which we were told had the largest selection of craft beer in Bangor. The atmosphere was chill and relaxed, and overall, a good vibe. We ended the night at the Key Room, a modern cocktail bar attached to Umami Noodle Bar, with spectacular drinks. We're not as young as we used to be, so we called it a night pretty early. If you have a favorite late night spot in Bangor, please let us know in the comments. The next day, we found ourselves back downtown for breakfast at the Grindhouse, a coffee shop with fun specialty drinks and good breakfast sandwiches. We liked the drinks so much we grabbed coffees before leaving Bangor the day after. Our next stop was a little ways outside of downtown, the Coal Land Transportation Museum. This museum, hosted in a cavernous space, features hundreds of vehicles, from classic cars to old fire trucks to military vehicles and even entire trains. Not only are the plaques very informative on the transportation of the time, but there were also a lot of interactive pieces where you could go up into the train cars, an old bus, and even an old-time buggy. We particularly found the snow removal exhibit very fascinating. Apparently at one point in history, instead of plowing snow, a massive heavy wheel would just flatten the snow, making roads mostly traversable. We were really impressed by the museum, and don't forget to check out some of the outdoor memorials and exhibits too. We spent the entire rest of the day doing a complete brewery crawl of Bangor, walking to 4 breweries in Bangor and just across the river in Bangor, Maine, eating appetizers as we went. I made a separate video covering our day exploring the best of Bangor's breweries, so I'll leave a link to that in the comments below. Needless to say, it was an extremely good time. At the end of the day, we got dinner at Mason Brewing Company and watched the sunset over the Penobscot while we listened to Bret Michaels, who happened to be playing at the Maine Savings Amphitheater. What a great way to end the day. The next day, we had a few spots to check out before we left Bangor. We started the day with breakfast at Bagel Central, a spacious spot with a great selection of bagels and breakfast sandwiches. Afterwards, we headed to Cascade Park, a short drive from downtown, for a morning stroll up to the top of the hill as we enjoyed the sparkling water and fountain in the morning light. We continued this theme of nature walks by driving 15 minutes to the Bangor City Forest and Orono Bog Boardwalk. Bangor City Forest is a massive 680-acre public park featuring 4 miles of access roads and 9 miles of trails used for hiking, running, biking, and in the winter, snowshoeing and cross-country skiing. We did a 3.2-mile loop with the east, west, and deer trails, and this included the Orono Bog Boardwalk as well. The trail was well marked and overall well groomed. There were some more rugged sections, but you can plan your hike by difficulty if you want to avoid those. There were also a ton of people out enjoying the park. Families, college students, trail runners. What a great asset for the residents of Bangor and Orono to have access to. The Orono Bog Boardwalk is a 1-mile loop accessible from Bangor City Forest. The trail takes you through several different biomes, including wetlands, fens, and heaths, offering a surprising variety of vegetation along the way. We did the loop, reading the informational plaques along the way until we got back to the city forest and continued our loop there. It wasn't too long until we were back at our car, prepared to make our long drive home to southern Maine. While we didn't get to see and do everything in Bangor, a long weekend was a good amount of time to explore and get to know the city. Other things we might want to check out that we didn't get to might include Stephen King's house. We already saw it on other trips. It's just a 5-minute drive from downtown, and there's really not anything to do there except snap a pic of the iconic gates. Stillman Art Museum, right downtown. Maine Discovery Center, also downtown. Maine Savings Amphitheater, a large concert venue that attracts some pretty big names to Bangor, including bands like Hozier, Kenny Chesney, Smashing Pumpkins, Luke Combs, and Pitbull, all just in summer 2024. Hollywood Casino on Raceway. The Maine Air Museum. Maine Forest and Logging Museum. If you're from Bangor, let me know if I missed any. This will end the video. Overall, Bangor might be a small city, but it does offer a good amount of restaurants, some awesome breweries, and more than enough stuff to fill a weekend. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It would help me out considerably.